That time Rimuru got a daughter. By Asora09. Rimuru's perspective. I opened my eyes, and the first thing I saw was the dark night sky that was decorated with countless stars. No, that's not all. Before those stars, I could see a pair of bright red eyes that belonged to a beautiful girl with bluish silver hair, Seal. Sealson, why am I in your lap? Oh, I am glad to see you are awake, darling. She turned to look down at me as she gently stroked my hair with one of her hands. You fainted similarly to how you did in the cave, and I thought it would be a good idea to give you a lap pillow so you could rest properly. Oh, I see. Then, why are you CA? I was about to ask why she was calling me, darling, so passionately, but I felt somebody tug on my sleeve from the side. I turned my face, and saw a red-haired little girl with beautiful purple eyes that were filled with tears. Sniff Papa, are you okay now? Sniff you are not going to go sniff die, right? Sniff, it looks like I made really pretty worried. From her eyes, it was really obvious she had been crying quite a lot before I woke up, and it was pretty clear that if I answered her question wrong in any possible way, she was going to break down again. I am fine, sweetie, don't worry. Okay, that was kind of a mediocre response, wasn't it? Sniff sniff really. You really aren't going to die. Sniff really. Sniff. Really. I am not going to die, okay. I just felt tired for a second, but don't worry, I am okay now. Isn't that right, dear? I turned to look at Seal, and she stiffened for a moment before nodding as she blushed a bit. Payback. Cough that's not important right now. There you go, Mama says I am okay too. Mama and I are the strongest and toughest people out there, so there is no way either of us will ever leave you alone, yeah. That's why, there's no need to cry, okay. I used my finger to wipe the tears running down her cheeks, and mustered the brightest smile I could. She nodded, then jumped on top of me, and gave me the biggest hug she could as she broke into tears. How can I call myself her father if I make my little girl worry so much about me, huh? I'm a failure as a parent, aren't I? I sighed and smiled wryly as I patted the head of my little girl who was now clinging on top of me while crying. You are doing a great job as a father. She adores you, and that should be proof enough. Seal always knows what I need to hear. I turned to look at her, and she was smiling gently at me. My heart cleared up, and I smiled back at her. Geez, I truly can't rival her in anything. Thanks, Seal, you always know what I'm thinking. I don't know what I would do without you, really. But of course, darling, UFU. Have you always been this type of character? Lately I've been feeling you've been acting quite out of character, you know. My, what are you talking about? It's just your imagination, UFU. Yeah sure. Let's also ignore the fact that it looks as if you could read my mind. Anyway, I tried to stand up from CL's lap, but just as I lifted my head, I caught sight of a teary, pleading face looking directly at me. It wasn't Seal, of course, it was Really, who was still clinging onto me. Sniff Papa, can we, Sniff stay like this a little more? Sniff, Really made her best teary puppy eyes, and just like that, I felt my heart melt and my willpower disappear. Yeah, we can stay like this as much as you like, okay sweetie. I laid back completely on CL's lap once again, and began stroking Really's hair as she let out all the worry she had gained from watching me collapse. Never again. I won't scare you that way ever again. I made a vow in my heart. I don't know how much time we spent that way. It was relaxing, to be honest. During that moment, only us three existed. Excluding Really's sobbing, there was complete silence, no wind, no voices, not even insects were making their appearance. It was as if we were in our own little world. I wouldn't mind staying like this forever, to be honest. After who knows how long, Really stopped sobbing and fell asleep while still clinging to me. I continued gently stroking her hair for a bit, and then signaled Seal with my hand. She immediately understood, and slowly lifted Really from on top of me, being careful to not wake her up. After I had enough space to stand up, I did so, and then picked up Really from CL's arms, and carried her in my own, with her head resting on my shoulder. Okay, all set. Let's get out of the barrier, yeah. I called Seal through thought communication. Seal didn't tell me, but it was pretty obvious, by the amount of silence and lack of presences around us, that we were inside a nullifying barrier. That, and the more obvious fact that inside the barrier the walls were black, to prevent the people inside from seeing the outside, and the other way around as well. Understood. Seal immediately did as I told, and we were back into the normal world. In a second we noticed that we were surrounded by goblins and direwolves. They would start causing a ruckus soon, so don't make any noise. My little girl is sleeping right now, and I don't want to wake her up. If you want to say something, use thought communication just as me right now, okay? Everyone seemed bewildered for a second, but they immediately understood and switched to thought communication. Author's note: I don't remember if the goblins and direwolves had thought communication originally, but just assume they do, please. The first to speak was Ronga's father, the leader of the direwolves, although he seemed a bit wounded. I don't remember wounding anyone during the fight, though. Are you all right, my lord? My eyes widened a bit at how quickly he accepted his role as my subordinate. Of course, I hadn't had the chance of knowing him alive in the main timeline, but from our interactions during the battle against the goblins, in both timelines, I thought he was more of a stubborn guy that would rebel against us the moment he got the chance. It was shocking to see him so subservient in such a short period of time. Master, that is due to the individual, futurely named Ronga, beating him back in place. As Master fainted, he tried to take advantage of the situation to flee, probably to gather more strength and then come back to fight you once again. Oh, I see, so I wasn't so wrong about him after all. Wait, but I remember he called me, my lord, and tried to soften my fall when I fainted, isn't that right? Negative. The individual that referred to you as, my lord, was the individual, futurely named Ronga. Furthermore, the direwolves leader did run toward you and really when you fainted, but I believe that was probably with the intention of taking a hostage. Oh I see, wait. He wanted a hostage. You can't be referring to. Indeed, I believe the leader of the direwolves was planning to take really hostage to hinder your movements, Master. But worry not, Master, after the individual, futurely named Ronga beat him back in place, I also made sure to prepare him to serve Master. I was about to order an explanation from the direwolves leader, but I turned to see Ciel's smiling face and instantly felt chilled to the bone. My anger at the hostage idea easily subsided in front of that scary smile of hers. Scary. Cielson. Yes, darling. No, nothing. I wanted to ask her about what she did to the leader, but I think it is better to leave it at what she told me. A bit more, and I would become an icicle from her smile. I was supposed to have thermal fluctuation nullification, but it didn't seem to be wanting to kick in right now. Anyways, I am fine, so let's everyone return to the village to get some rest. I talked to everyone through my thought communication and started walking slowly with really still asleep in my arms. Everybody else did the same, although they did look a little concerned. Perhaps the goblins were scared of inviting the puppies into the village. Hey, Ciel, is the situation with Ronga's father under control, then? It would be a great disaster if the wolves went on a rampage. I mean, I would immediately stop them, but that could destroy our relationship with the direwolves, and there is no way to assure there will be no casualties. Affirmative, darling. The individual, futurely named Ronga and his father have both sworn on a soul level to be loyal to you. Well, that's calming. Swearing something on a soul level engraved the oath on the soul, so there is absolutely no chance for the person to break it, unless that person wants to get their soul torn apart. Now, setting that aside, darling, again. Well, let's just ignore it. Author's note: I don't really know if the soul oaths really exist in the original work, but I took this idea from Karika's fanfiction. Remember to go and check it out, okay? The link is on the information tab. We continued walking, and once we reached the center of the village, I fell into realization, or well, actually, I was forced to realize something. My lord, where are we supposed to sleep tonight? The one who said that was Rigard, as he watched around the village, which was now dismantled in order to prepare the defense against the puppies. So, what did I do in response? Dear, do something about it. I am going to go and tuck Riley into her bed. Wait, Mast. Yes, I completely passed the responsibility onto her, and entered my imaginary space along with Riley. I could hear Ciel scream, Master RRRRRR. As I cut the thought communication, but I decided it was best for me to ignore her. I am not cruel or irresponsible. In fact, I am being very responsible at this very moment. It is very important for a father to tuck his child into bed, right? Yeah, I am not actually warding off my responsibilities. It is just that after ordering my priorities, really comes first. That's simply how it is. I created 2 beds, a little one for Riley, and a bigger one for me and, well, Seal, I guess. Riley's bed was a bright purple color that was similar to the color of her eyes, and had 2 small white pillows. I slowly took Riley off my arms and gently placed her in the bed. I put her pajamas on, pulled the blankets over her, and created a teddy bear for her to hold on to while sleeping, because why not? Good night, sweetie. I bent down and gave her a kiss on her forehead. I started to retreat, but a little hand caught one of my fingers. I thought for a second that I had perhaps woken her up, but... Night, Papa. She was still sleeping, it looked like she was sleep-talking. My mouth curled up into a natural smile, and I created a chair to sit right beside her. I sat there until I fell asleep. I didn't even use the bed I had created for myself. Later that night, I would be woken up by an angry lady with bluish silver hair and red eyes, and we would have a bit of drama regarding how we would sleep, but that's a story for another time. Author's note: I didn't want to make this chapter too long, so if you want to, I could write that scene as a side story type of thing. It would be short, though. Hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond. Rimuru's perspective. Pa, Ma, up. I slowly opened my eyes, and the first thing I saw was a little girl with bright red hair that had a teddy bear on her right hand. Do I even need to explain who it was? My daughter was eagerly jumping around in the bed where Seal and I slept last night. Papa, Mama, wake up. She seemed to be trying to wake us up. She looked really cute, with her pouting face and bed hair as she tried to get us up, but it is dangerous to jump on the bed, so... I'm up. I stood from the bed in a jump, and caught her while she was mid-air after one of her own jumps. I immediately started tickling her, and she started giggling. Giggles, Papa. Giggles, stop. Giggles, it tickles. Giggles. She was desperately struggling in the air. Ah, enough cuteness for now. I stopped, and sat on the bed, my back leaning back on the headboard. I then sat her on my lap, and started passing my hands through her hair. She seemed to enjoy it, as her mouth broke up into a smile that I think could outshine the sun itself. Good morning, sweetie. Did you sleep well? I asked her. Yup. Bed was really comfy. She was smiling as I played around with her hair. Honey. Darling. Oh, it seems Seal finally woke up. But hey, if she is just waking up, how can she have the conscience to call me, darling, in such a halted manner, huh? Good morning, dear, I said as payback. Seal blushed a bit, and then covered her face with the blankets. Right now, only her red eyes could be seen. She was sleeping right beside me, though, so I think it is a little late to be blushing just because I called her, dear. Good morning, Mama. Riley immediately stood up from my lap and ran to give Seal a hug. I was a bit sad to see her go, though. Well, anyway. Good morning, honey. Was the bed Papa made good enough? Seal was still under the blankets and refused to come out, so she dragged Riley under the blankets as well. Question mark. Yup. The bed was very comfy. She was a bit confused at why she was suddenly brought under the blankets, but she still replied energetically. I couldn't see her face because it was hidden under the blankets, but I was pretty sure she was smiling. I was feeling it. It is a special skill only given to papas all over the world. Well, but everyone else's daughters can't even compare in cuteness to Riley, so, cough cough, oh damn, I am not going to end up like Errol, am I? The thought made me shiver a bit. I need to be careful to avoid going down that path. Author's note: Errol is Aren's father. I used Errol because that's the main name that appears in the fandom. I covered myself with the blankets as well, and approached the 2 of them that were on the opposite side of the bed. I slowly turned toward them too, and I gave them a big, good morning, hug. As a response to my actions, Seal blushed furiously and turned around, but really seemed delighted. She was all smiles. She even grabbed my still extended arm and hugged it tight. What about me? Well, just like Seal, I was blushing a bit myself too, because I hadn't really thought too hard about what I was doing. That really was something a wedded couple would do, would it not? As I realized this, I blushed furiously too, and turned around panicked just as Seal did a few moments ago. Mama, Papa, what's wrong? Really ended up confused and sandwiched between our backs, that were facing each other. She didn't say anything else for a few seconds, but she suddenly said, as if she had understood something. Okay, Papa, Mama, you can sleep a bit more. Really is a good girl and she will stay here with you. She approached me and gave a hug, and then I assumed she did the same with Seal. She was such a good girl, even if she misunderstood our situation for Seal and I wanting to sleep a bit more. An hour or so had to pass before I dared to turn around again, and when I did, I saw Seal doing the same as me. We stared at each other for a few seconds without saying anything, before being interrupted. Snore. We both looked down, and we saw Riley, who was fast asleep right between the two of us while hugging her teddy bear. Seal and I turned to look back at each other after seeing our daughter sleeping so angelically, and then we both said, "Let's go to sleep again too," and returned our heads to our pillows. We were now facing each other, but even so, we didn't blush, rather we just smiled gently. I guess we were both thinking the same thing. Our daughter is such a good girl, right? We went to sleep once again while thinking that.